Hey guys, it's Michael,
I'm Tony.
and welcome to Blogging with Michael and Tony. It's been a while since we did a video, probably since October, probably. It was the last time we did a video. But a lot of stuff has happened. I mean, a lot. Uh, I guess I can start out with what happened to me. So, as you guys, everybody knows, uh, on November 30th, I hit a deer in my car. Uh, and insurance tried to total it, and then we found a body shop that was actually would do it cheaper. Now it's been at that body shop ever since the first week of December. Uh, Anyways, long story short, it's still there. But that's not what I was going to say. What I was going to say was that same night that I wrecked I wrecked my car early November 30th, like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. Well, later that night, say like I don't know 5 6 o'clock p.m. Uh, I decided to take a THC gummy, and it was supposed to be really more, or it's supposed to be like really strong compared to what I was usually taking. And before anybody judges me, I take them because a few years back I got in a really bad car accident and I'm in a lot of pain. So I take them for pain. Well, not anymore, and I'm gonna tell you why. Uh, the gummy said to take a one whole gummy. The serving size was one gummy, and I took 3/4 of it, not even a whole. And it hit me hard and it hit me fast. And come to find out, that specific gummy had more than just Delta 8 in it and Delta 9. It had something else in. I can't remember. It starts with a D. I can't remember the name of it, but it is really potent. And well, it hit me really hard at night, and I started having a bad trip, hallucinating. Um, I was seeing, the best way I know how to describe it was I was seeing. If you guys ever played like the PlayStation music on PlayStation, and it has like the visual whatever, like all the swirly colors and the like the equalizers and stuff, it was kind of like that.
Or like the hypnosis things,
Yeah.
or it's just going in circles and just zooming in and out.
Um, I think that's the landlord. I don't know. We're outside waiting for my landlord. He wanted to show up today, so we're waiting for him. But anyways, he was supposed to be coming today. Um, well, it was really bad. I was hallucinating. I was wanting to fight. Um, and me and Kat both had took some. I took 3/4, and Kat took 1/4. It even hit Kat bad too. Tony was the only sober one. Um, it was bad. I was actually pooping on myself, and that's really hard to admit to the world. But yeah, I was pooping on myself. I was throwing up everywhere. I had Tony to call the ambulance or call 911 to come out here, and they told me, "Oh, he's just high. Let him ride it out or whatever. He'll be fine." And it also felt like my heart was pounding really fast and bad. So I had Tony call again. Well, this time a different set of EMS workers showed up, and they just saw how bad I was, and they took me straight to the hospital. Now after that, I don't remember a thing. But here's what I didn't know. I was in the hospital for 3 days. I was actually in the intensive care unit. Um, at first, they thought there was something wrong with my heart because some blood work come back and showed some levels that were off or whatever. Uh, but then they wound up ruling that out. Um, but I was in the hospital for 3 days, and I only remember bits and pieces. Like Tony come up there a few times to check on me. My grandparents come out there to check on me. Everybody come up there to check on me. And I was out of it like 99% of the time. The only time I would really wake up is somebody would be like, "Hey, Michael, I'm here. This is so and so, and I'm here. I'm here to take your blood pressure, or this is your grandma. Hey, you okay, Michael? What's going on?" Or Tony would come up there and try to talk to me, and I was out of it. I mean, I just for 3 days, and I had no idea I was in there for 3 days. It felt like I was just in there for a few hours. It really didn't feel like that. It just felt like I knew I was at the hospital, but I was just like dealing with being at the hospital. So what happened was the gummy I took wound up something about I was not breathing out CO2 like I was supposed to. So I had a facial mask on. My oxygen levels were down in like the 80, like low 80s, like 82, 83. Uh, uh, and they thought I was going to die. Tony, you can probably fill them in on some of the stuff, because a lot of it I'm clueless about because, I was really out of it, like really, really bad out of it.
There was a couple times, like you said, the doctors were really just like pushing to keep him there because they're like his levels are low, he's not breathing out properly. If we take him off the mask or take him off this thing, whatever,
it was a ventilator.
They're like he's gonna die and he's not gonna be able to breathe properly. He tried to go home, but he'll end up passing out and be right back in the hospital again. And they're saying a lot of stuff, and it was. I'm not saying that nothing, that nobody was wrong here. I mean, there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of, I don't know his body, like his body does, but so I mean, I can't really speak for him, but his body only knows what it can handle and what it can fight on the inside, to keep him from dying and to keep him going. But
also, I forgot to mention something. I also aspirated, which means when I was puking, I actually inhaled some of my own vomit. So that was in my lungs too. But it was the reason my lungs were doing what they were doing because it was a mixture of there was vomit in my lungs, and also the fact that whatever that there was some kind of other chemical in that gummy that I bought that was not supposed to be there. Now, I normally do gummies, but I did a different kind that one night. It was a totally different brand. I had never tried it before, and didn't it say like it was like 300 or 3,000 milligrams or something crazy like that?
It was 500 milligrams for one single piece. One serving size is 500.
Yeah.
I say he didn't even consume the whole 500. He consumed like 300 something.
Maybe 4 something, because I only ate 3/4 of the gummy, and it said one serving size was one whole gummy. And I didn't eat a whole gummy. I ate 3/4 of it. But I'm going to tell you what happened. On the third day that I was there, I was finally starting to wake up a little bit.
Come to.
And I was still high. Like, even on that third day, I was still high. But I was aware enough to say, hey, I don't want to be here anymore. My levels, my oxygen levels had risen enough. They were like in the low 90s at that point. with the ventilator and mask off. um, so I told them, I said, I'm leaving AMA, which means against medical advice. I said, I'm calling my friend to come get me. So I called Tony up. It was like 11 o'clock in the morning. Or no, was it earlier than that?
It was like 6 o'clock in the morning. The man wakes me up.
Well, I didn't know what time it was. All I know is I didn't want to be there no more. Like everything else, like it really felt like I had no common sense, no brain cells, no reasoning, no thinking for myself. And I remember when I was at the hospital, anytime I had to pee, anytime I had to poop, the nurses had to help me do it because I couldn't do it on my own. Like I was really that out of it. So whatever time I called him, I didn't know it was that early.
Now, a lot of the nurses were, and a couple of the doctors, they were getting like really irritated with him, and I'm like, I don't understand why you're getting upset. And I was like, this is your job to help. You know, if he's, unable to do things, that's what you're there for. You're not there just to sit around and wait for for the doctor to do everything.
Yeah, see, what that's about is I would there'd be periods where I'd wake up because I'd have to pee or I'd have to poop. And I swear to you, I felt like the nurses would literally put my call button on the floor. And I couldn't get up on my own. One, I didn't feel stable enough. And two, they had me hooked up to heart monitors and I believe IVs and to all these kind of machines and stuff. So I couldn't even like sit up really, because if I would have set up, all those wires and stuff they had connected to me would have came undone, unplugged, whatever you want to say. So I'd have to call the nurse every time I would wake up periodically, just for a split few minutes to go use the bathroom, and then it was out again. And I was begging the doctors, please give me something to get this out of my system, because I don't know if you guys know, but sometimes drug users can put drug users like into a coma, medically induced coma, and give them a medication that will hurry up and push all those drugs out of their system. But apparently, what the drug that I took, there is no pushing that out of your system. And the doctor told me that. And I remember him coming in there telling me that. And then when I finally got home after like a week or so, I wound up looking it up on AI, and supposedly, that's very true. For what I had, there is no drug to push it through my system, to get it out of my system. But I was begging the doctors, like I hated every second of me being like that. Like I hated it. It was making me want to fight, because all the visuals that I was seeing, the bad trip I was having. Like I was wanting to fight, and I remember telling the EMS worker, I want to fight. Like that's just, I told him like I'm really pissed off, and I want to fight anybody that was in front of me. And I remember I remember Tony telling me that the EMS told me, well, don't fight me. But yeah, I mean, the nurses were getting pissed off at me because, I'd wake up needing to go to the bathroom. And Dixie, it's okay. It's just the neighbors. Anyways, so that's that. Now, story time for Tony. Tony has a story to tell you guys.
I know your story. It's not everything.
What's everything? The rest of it?
Cars in the shop.
Oh, you said that.
What happened in there? We skipped over it.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that one. The rest of that will come soon. I'm making another different video of my own about that, because I've got a series about my car, so that'll be in the little, series I've got going on. But if you really want to know about my car, go to the channel, check us out. Go to, I don't even remember what the playlist is called, but it's about my Ford Fusion.
Just like and subscribe.
Yeah, that's right. Like and subscribe.
Why not? But yeah, besides him, I've had a eventful month or so. I'd say. Um, so you guys remember a while back, I had the Tahoe and stuff. Well,
It was a Chevy Tahoe.
Chevy Tahoe.
Was it 03, 05?
It was 05.
05 Chevy Tahoe. Sorry.
But yeah, because they make 4 Tahoes, right?
No, I just didn't know because the year matters. Because then they
Well,
could
the
get in
Tahoe-
their mind.
Well, the Tahoe, everybody knows that's Chevy.
Yeah, but I
It's
mean,
not Nissan, it's not Ford, it's not Toyota. It's Tahoe.
it's a Tacoma
It's an old school
Tahoe.
It's an old school Ford Tahoe.
It's a Toyota Nissan Tahoe.
That sounds about right. It sounds like the Ranger F-150s that they make in England, so that's a different story for a different one.
I don't even. I think I've heard something like that before. I
Yeah,
don't even know if that's
I'll have
true.
to pull up the video for you in a little while.
Okay.
But-
Sorry. I tend to do that sometimes, but I want to. The reason I do that is because I like to clarify for you guys, like the year, make, model, so you guys can get an image in your head what
That part
vehicle.
don't matter. Because it's on our channel. We have a picture of the Tahoe in our channel.
I'm not sure if we do or not.
I'm pretty sure. But but the Tahoe, I ended up, it started having issues, so I decided to park it. And that's when we ended up getting the Mazda and stuff that you guys seen a while back too. But in the process, I dropped off the Tahoe to my father's house. Well, even though it's all these vehicles that I've had over the years, my father has purchased them. He put everything into my name because he's not legal.
He is an illegal alien.
Well, even out of all the vehicles, no matter what has happened, my name has been on the title, and my name has been over every single vehicle we've owned and all that. So every vehicle belongs to me, even though it's been parked in his yard, no matter where I live. And for most people out there, whenever you transfer or sell a vehicle, you got the title, you got to transfer over. You have to have the buyer, and then you also have to have the person that owns it, which will be the seller, there to sign everything over and all the paperwork that gets notarized and all that with it.
Excuse me.
No.
I don't mean to interrupt you,
Yes,
but why
you
are
do.
you just staring off into the corner over there, just telling the story and talking to the wall?
Because I like the wall.
Sorry. Go ahead. I just wondered because you're telling the story, but just staring at the mop or the wall, whatever the hell you're staring at over there. Did you lose track where you're at?
I think so.
You were talking about if you sell a vehicle, you have to have the buyer and the seller, whoever his
Yeah, it's got to
name
be
is actually.
all right, sign, notarize, all that good stuff. You can usually get it at like a bank, or it can be done at an actual notary, DMV, different places.
Oh yeah, sorry. One more thing. Him and his father both have the same exact name, so that's where this comes into play.
Yeah, because I was never going to say that.
Well, it matters. We're not going to say your legal
I haven't
name.
got that far.
Oh,
You jump in, I haven't got this far.
you know what? I've interrupted him like 4 times. I'm just going to shut up.
But like you said, me and my father do have the same name. We're not going to put that out there. Actually, I think we've already put my name out there somehow, some way.
Not your legal
Yes, we
name.
have. Yeah, we have.
It was a Christmas video, but they didn't see you said, yeah.
I'll do it quickly. I think it was something else too. But yeah, me and my dad share the same name. So he got this nice idea that because we share similar names, that he can go sell the Tahoe and write his name on it, our name on it, and go get it notarized, signed, sell all that stuff, and be perfectly fine. Well, there's a problem with that. So, all around the states, especially in North Carolina, where we live, there's this big old thing that if you sign someone else's name and forge it, sign it, it could be considered a crime.
It is a crime. It's
It
a
is a
felony.
crime. Well, even though me and him share the similar name, he thought it was okay to go ahead and sign our life away and go sell the Tahoe without me there or me to sign it or anything.
Even though you were the legal owner of the vehicle.
I own this vehicle. It has my name on it. But with that being said, he went ahead and sold it to some random guy that he knew that lives in a town. It's like 20-ish minutes away from where we live. So we decided that, this is wrong. Forgery is a crime. The vehicle is in my name, not his. And that it'd be better if it was in my hands. So we got law involved. And
What? It's assaulted the police.
pretty much. And we ended up that we talked to the police. We ended up go get checked out, everything checked out that we needed, get all the information needed. Told them where potentially Tahoe could have been at, and his address and all that, get his name, information down, and they went and they got a hold of him, and he admitted to a detective on the phone call saying, yes, I forged my own son's name on the title and then sold a vehicle that is not mine but in his name. Well, in the States with the law, that's all they need to come arrest you or to charge you with something. He fully admitted it to them. So, from that, I got some phone calls from detectives and other people, and we got the Tahoe back in my hands.
Back in your name. The
Back
title
in my
back in your
name.
name.
And my father has been charged with
Forgery.
And he's got some court dates he's going to have to go to, and also because he's not legal, he may get deported
Immigration is possibly involved.
at this point. So we had to deal with that. So the whole time there was a lot of people, including the detectives and sheriffs and all that, trying to kind of not persuade me to end everything and just kind of push everything to the side, but because it's a family issue, a lot of people I think were kind of uncomfortable with trying to go through with the situation because they wouldn't understand something like that. And I get it. I've had years and stuff. Over the years, my father had good times. I've had bad times, but I've had a lot of bad times with him and other family members with him than more good times.
What's funny is his brother and his sister, Tony's brother and Tony's sister,
Both my sisters,
both pretty much said, "Hey, hey, we're glad that you did that because this was not the first time that Tony's dad had done this.
He had done this to his
Your-
other wife,
your stepmom.
which is my stepmom. Yeah, years ago he did a similar situation to her with another vehicle.
But no charges were ever pressed back in the day.
No, she just got law involved to go get the vehicle,
Right.
and then when she got it, she left it alone.
But both his brother and both his sisters pretty much had said, you know what, we're glad that you actually went through with the charges. We're glad that he's being charged. We're also glad that he's possibly being deported. So immigration's involved at this point, and they're more than likely will be deporting his father back to Mexico. And everybody knows that Trump has a hard on for immigration, collecting all these illegals. And if anybody was ever if anybody was ever wondering, Tony was born here in America, so he has what's called the birthright. So he is completely legal. Tony was born here in America. Tony is legal. Tony has a social security number, has a job.
I'm glad I'm legal.
So, we get to stick around with Tony for a while.
So remember that, people. You too can become a citizen. with hard work and dedication.
Yes, and here's the thing. Me and Tony. Here's the thing. Tony is Hispanic, half white, half Hispanic. But
And
even
he still treats me like a slave.
no, I do not. Anyways,
Viva Mexico.
Tony even voted for Trump.
I did.
Come on now. Don't make me actually put a screenshot of your voter registration
That's
in there.
scary.
Anyways.
I think Dixie ate it. I'm not a liberal.
But Tony is a big fan of Trump, and Tony even tell you, you know what? You know, we did the right thing. And if you're illegal, you should definitely, the way Trump wants you to do it right now, he wants you to go back to where you're from.
In your own terms.
On your own terms, and they're actually giving you money.
Giving you money and giving you
a free flight.
Or trip back wherever, you know.
And then you can apply for citizenship in America, as long as you go back willingly. Now, if they capture you,
and they have to force you to go back,
then Trump has said you have no rights to ever come back to this country ever again. So that's that. We encourage anybody that is illegal here, please do yourself a favor, do us a favor, go through with the process. I know it's probably long, it's probably drawn out, and it's probably going to cost some money. But for everyone's sake, including your own, please become a citizen. Please become legal. And, you know, once you become legal, then you can say you're an American. Right?
Yep. Exactly.
So, but yeah, that's everything that we have went through, and it's been long. Everything that we have talked about just now, we have shortened it up by a lot. What we have talked about has been long and drawn out. Tony's situation with his father has been long and drawn out. My situation with the hospital and my car has been long and drawn out.
Did we ever finish the other court? I can't remember. I feel like we talked about it on here, didn't we?
Oh yeah.
No. Well, that's.
We had to go to court about Kat's father too.
Or should we wait to do that?
But he, as you guys know, we had to go to court because Kat's father kept trespassing. We kept asking him not to come back here. And it really sounds like we're law happy and we're charge happy, you know, we're little snitches. But no, that's not the case. That's really not the case. I swear to God. I'm going to give you an example. If me and you got into a fight, I ain't calling no law. Me and you got into I ain't calling no law. But when you do a serious crime, like something very serious, yeah, of course, we're going to get law enforcement involved. And, well, there's landlord over there.
Yeah.
Anyways, but yeah, that's all it is. And, you know, we're not law happy. We're not none of that stuff.
Yes.
But we do support the police, right?
Yeah.
We support the police. We think, you know, they don't deserve enough credit.
Our blood runs red and blue and white around here.
That's right. And all you people out there that's anti-ICE, please realize they're doing their job. The people that got hurt was because of their own actions, not anything that ICE did out of the way. They're not a hate organization. They're not here to make your day worse. They're just trying to do their job.
Well, the cops, they're just trying to do their job.
Exactly. And I'm not just going to say that all cops are good, and I'm not going to say all ICE agents are good, because there are bad cops and there are bad ICE agents.
There's guys out there and women out there that are just excited just to do it, just because, whether they have feelings or not. But
right.
There are people that have feelings, and they're like, look, I know this is going to be tough, but it's got to be done.
Right. And those people are only trying to uphold. If you're an American, a true American, like you really believe, like, hey, you know, like, you know,
there's a standard to
uphold. America, you know, you should respect law enforcement, whether it be ICE or local police or whatever, because they're what helps keep this country
You
the
know,
best country it is.
yeah,
Without law and order,
it'd be chaos.
it'd be chaos. So next time you see somebody, thank them. Thank them for their service. Thank you. Thank them for the bullshit they have to put up with.
And I just thought about something else. Anyone that wants to get all biblical and throw out scripture and stuff like that, if you think about it and get technical, there's only one way to get into heaven. It's not a free open door. It may sound harsh like that. It's the same concept. It's not a free open door to get to heaven. Unless you actually get saved and know Jesus, you're not getting into heaven. I don't care how good of a person or bad a person you are. You want to get in through Jesus. And, I'm sure there's going to be somebody there that might be like, well, every God loves everybody. He does.
God
But
does
it's
love
still,
everybody.
he's not going, God doesn't have open borders.
The
Only
Bible,
for his people.
the Bible actually says that you're supposed to obey your local laws,
The laws of the land.
the laws of the land. It does say that. It really does say
Yep.
that. Honest, on
There's
everything I
scripture
love,
on
it says that. So, if the laws of the land say, "Hey, you're illegal. You shouldn't be here," well, then
You have
I don't
to
care
abide.
how Christian you are, whether you're, I guess technically if you're Catholic, depending on what you believe, certain
No matter
Catholics
what you
believe
are,
they're
Catholic,
Christian.
Presbyterian, no what denomination you are.
Right. Whatever
There's
denomination you
still-
are, if you believe you're Christian, you have to take that scripture and you have to apply it because it says obey the land, the laws of the land.
Yep.
And that means if you're illegal or you're doing a crime, you need to stop.
And that falls in that line of scripture too. So,
Look
But-
how we're like saying all this stuff,
I mean, it
Don't get me wrong. I have a criminal record. I've done stuff in my past. I'm a rebel. I've always been a rebel, but I'm not like one of those like. I'm not a murderer. I'm not a rapist. I'm not a, the serious stuff. You know what I'm saying? I've done stupid stuff like getting into fights and just stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So
but
I'm a
yeah,
rebel, but
he
I've also changed my way. You can ask Tony.
Yeah. But also at the same time,
he knows some of the stuff
I
I've
know
done.
some of his old ways, but even then, I mean, as a person, I mean, he has, even the stuff that he's done, he understands. Look, if I got to go to jail for spend time this amount, I have to do. There's consequences for what I did, and even he understands that.
Absolutely.
No matter whether you can get out right away or if you're staying there for a long time. I mean, even he'd be the first person to be like, look, I did it. I gotta stay here, and that's just how the law works.
I mean, I'm not gonna go turn myself in or nothing.
No,
you gotta catch me. But
I mean, if he gets caught, he's like, look, I know what I did. Just go ahead and slap me. Go ahead and put the cuffs on. We'll call it a day. That's the law. But even somebody like him would still, respect that.
I mean, it's all about taking responsibility. You got to realize. Here's the thing. When I was just telling Tony the other day, I said, I'm about to turn 30 in like 5 more months.
Old man.
Am I turning 30?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm turning 30.
Yeah. Me and Kat are still in our 20s.
So am I. I'm 29.
Not anymore. Not after that day.
In 5 months, I turn 30. And I've gotten to a point in my life where I basically feel like, you know what? If you do the crime, you got to do the time. You got to do. You knew what you were doing. I want to say 95% of the time when somebody does something wrong, they know what they're doing. They know they're doing wrong.
Even him as a rebel, he knew what he was doing.
Yes. And the thing is, you got to say, you know what, fine, I did it.
Man up.
Man, exactly. That's what I was looking for. Man up and take
it.
responsibility for it. And the sooner you have that attitude, I think your life would probably change around if you're,
They're willing for it to change.
yeah. But I like how, I mean, that it really has nothing to do with anything, but we just talking about it.
Well, it's because it's just the situation. We just kind of throwing the stuff in there.
I'm pretty sure the next stop is the neighbors coming over here.
Probably. But, I mean.
So we probably got to, wrap this
end it
video
here,
up.
so, but, I mean, it's just the fact that everything we're saying was just. I'm just throwing stuff out there in case somebody wants to argue or try to say this or say that,
Oh, yeah.
This is what, it's just the truth. But
Landlord's here.
So we'll talk to you guys later.
As you can probably see, he's pulling up behind us. Dixie, stop.
Dixie, come here. But we love you guys. Dixie
And,
loves you.
We'll see you guys later.